Education is quite important, but what exactly is it? Is it just a certificate or character? Good morning, this is today's live on Echo Television International, and as usual, I'm here with my squad, the best in town. I don't think you can find anyone like them. Okay,
They
let me
should show
introduce
us,
them.
Victor, show us. Okay, thank
Best in town,
Okay,
Show us all. Squad.
the
Yeah.
whole squad.
Squad.
The squad are nothing but the squad.
Squad.
Yes, we have Engineer Tony, we have Mr. Solomon, we have Joyce, and Prudence. And we're about to have a swell
God is
time.
blessing us on this show.
We're about to have a swell time discussing
Yeah.
education.
Three of
Mm.
us. I am enjoying that. And the name sweet. Bragging of a name that is not sweet. Okay, certificate or education. Oh, what is the topic? Explain. Since you are introducing yourself before everybody, you should start the show before everybody as well.
My character is being attacked this morning.
It's not a certificate that's been
you don't have
attacked.
certificate
Or character. Which one?
Wow.
No, it's a
Which one
question.
is a question? Well,
Feels
the
like
show has
today
started.
I was going to be attacked.
The
but
show has
As
started.
usual, on Christ the solid rock I stand.
So based on this attack, answer the question.
I have certificates
What about character?
intact.
It's for us to say. Certificate is personal. We are not aware. We at least we saw pictures of you at NYC. We saw pictures. Whether it's Photoshop, we don't know. But at least character. We should be the ones to say it.
So you can answer for my behalf. About
Okay,
the
explain your character. What kind of character do you have?
Adeshorimale. Well,
What?
so help
We
me
don't
God.
speak in tongues in Equa TV. In Equa, we do not speak in tongues except there is an interpreter.
So interpret.
I didn't speak in tongues. I spoke in my dialect. Buji.
It's not allowed.
Okay.
This is an English show. Please don't change the rating.
Okay, I said, God help me. The
Say it
first
again in your language.
Adeshorimale.
Oh,
The
God.
forces are many, but I trust
Why
in
do you
God.
struggle to speak? Why your language is a struggle?
No, I don't struggle.
No, as in not you, singular you is a plural you. People who speak your language, they struggle to make pronunciations. Why?
Oh my God.
It's not sweet like Irigwe, like Tengali, like other tribes. What happened?
Okay, I think I'm ready to answer the question.
Okay, so
about-
answer the question. Is it character or certificate?
Character.
Okay.
Yes. Now, it was the third president of the United States, Jefferson, that says that once you have character, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Now, a lot of people will tell you, oh, I have certificate, I can be the CEO, I can get the position of the director, I can be this and that. But we are in an age where almost everybody has the paper. It can give you the access, but for you to remain there, it is your character. We have seen a lot of people that get employed or get to certain position, but they didn't last there. And why is that so? Because of their character, your ability to deal, interact with people around you, your ability to manage your emotions. Because whether you like it or not, we are not the same. We're not even coming from the same background or same with same ideology. People grew up in different environments, and it forms their totality. And so, because you don't have control over their behaviors, your character, if you are not in charge, if you don't have the right attitude, it will affect your relationship. There are people that have fought at work or at marketplaces, and then they got sacked, or they lost their businesses, or they lost customers. There are businesses that people don't patronize. And why? Because of the attitude of the people right there. When you went to the filling station, for example, and then the attendant there misbehaved or spoke anyhow, you didn't return. You made the decision not to go there. Not because oh, she has a PhD or she has a diploma. You didn't even care at that point whether it didn't matter. But her response, her attitude to you will tell you, no, I can't come here again. I remember recently I was talking with someone and I said, oh, I pity a lot of businesses these days because people just want to work for the income. Like, it's not, they don't care. They just show up at the end of the month, just pay me what I deserve. And so they act to customers or clients the way they feel like. You walk into a store and the person is staring at you. Oh, what do you want? Like, do and just get the hell out of my face. The attitude, they are not welcoming. Some of them, they are not welcoming. And then I don't have change. Recently, I went to buy a snack, and then the lady told me I don't have change. And then I was looking at her. She was looking at me, and she's like, and I said, so what do we do? She had packaged it and gave me. So she said, when I was giving her the money, and she said, I don't have change. And then she faced another direction. So I was asking, so what do we do? I was trying to look for the solution on her behalf. So what do we do? And she told me, well, you can use your card or POS and rudely. And I removed the ATM card and I gave her, and she did, with an extra charge that she didn't even inform me that there would be or it would attract. She just pulled out and gave me the card and turned. I picked the 9-1 and I left quietly. But will I go back there again? Of course, no. Going back, I did not ask whether she has a PhD or she has what kind of certificate at that point. It didn't matter. It was the character. And this is what we see day in, day out. So if you ask me, certificate or character, your success in whatever you do lies in your character and not even in the certificate that you have. And that is why some institution will tell you, we train you in learning and character. If you fail in character, then there's no way that you can have the certificate, because you have learned. It is character that comes in first before your learning. I remember one of our lecturers that would say, see, if you try me, if you misbehave here, you will fail not just my course, but all the courses. You'll be surprised that you go to check your result and you see that you have para F. You'll be wondering and be asking, no, boy, I read, I did this and that. Yes, I'll come, I'll defend you. Wherever we'll go, I'll go there, I'll talk. You can't pass. You can't have the certificate, or you can't boast about being educated without character.
True.
So character.
True. I agree with you, Joyce. I've heard this saying, a lot of people saying it in Hausa, and I'm seeking permission to say that. Duba yadda tana yi kaman bata je makaranta ba. See how she's behaving as if she hasn't gone to school. So from that statement, it is inferred that school teaches you not just the certificate, rather it is also teaching your character. So when people talk about being educated or being literate, it's all about character. It's all about behavior as well, not just the certificate. So it is important that when you're doing whatever you're doing, you have character. School-wise, when you go to school, you're learning in character as well. My mom always does this before we go to school. She tells us that when you go to school and there are certain things that are happening that you don't understand and you don't find pleasant, just remember that it is all part of learning. It is all part of learning. So when I come back and I'm complaining, mommy, this person did this and this person did that, and she's like, so what did you learn from that? So she's expecting that, apart from the fact that I'm learning book-wise, I'm being educated with the book knowledge, I'm also building character as well. And that's why they had to take us to specific kind of schools, because they wanted us to grow in character as well. They were looking for schools that would, okay, so this is what we have been building these children to see. Let's see that even when they go to school, they will continue learning such things. So at the end of the day, it is the character that they want to see at the end of the day, not just the certificate. For them, the certificate will be like a plus, like a crown on top of everything. Let's just say, okay, she got the certificate, by the way, but she has a good character, and that's what makes a parent proud. And not just a parent, but the society is proud of anybody who has good character. And as you mentioned, you go to a lot of organizations, or you go to a lot of places, and then you find that the person or the attendant or the receptionist is rude. Especially in Jos, the tricycles. My goodness, sometimes when you just enter one, and if you have any issue of change with the person, the rudeness is beyond what anybody can imagine. You begin to wonder, like, am I the cause of this person's hardship? I don't understand. Why is this person doing this to me?
That didn't come up.
I'm just saying, if the person is having any form of hardship, because of the reaction, you think that, oh no, this person is suffering so much, so he's just trying to channel the anger towards me. But that's not always the case.
It's based on his hardship. It's based on his mindset. Because he has much more money than you do. These guys are rich. I'm not saying you, Prudence, but I'm saying the people who patronize them. These guys have money. A lot of it. But you see, we're talking about character. Haven't you seen people who are rich, yet they don't have character? Yeah. Education is for you personally. Education has nothing to do with people out there, but character has. Character is not for you alone. You can rub your character on my face, but you can't rub your education on my face. That's the truth, because you don't go to the market and start saying, if X is raised to power, you can't say that. You learned that in school. It's for you. It's kept inside. You cannot say the axis of X. If you bring the graph down, economics is Y here and then 0 here. Then you start. You can't tell anybody that. That's a personal knowledge. Excuse me. I shouldn't have messed with you earlier. Now I'm choking on my own saliva. So. It serves me right?
No,
okay.
no.
Okay. So what I'm saying basically is, whatever you have learned in school, it helps you to understand basically the rudiments of what you are going into the world to face. The rudiments, not everything about it. Because school, as far as I'm concerned, and as much as I know about it, it introduces you to the foundation of what you are going out to face. When you go out, you start facing in reality what school did not tell you. Because sometimes I remember when I was way too young, my father would come and just ask me a question, and I would say, "Move acquire my number." They didn't teach us that in school, and he would be like, "School will not teach you everything. Learn." I was wondering how. How? Where would I go? No Google then. Internet was, I don't think there was anything like that. But now, you are just a browse away from knowing anything you want to know in this life. You're just a browse away. You're just a click away. Character defines who a person is. Yesterday we were praying at the stadium. A lot of people were called out to come and do one function or the other at the Solemn Assembly. And what I saw was certain people, nobody was even like introduced because it was a church service. We didn't do, this person is here. No, we're just saying, so person is here. We're grateful. And when we asked that people should come out for prayers, there was one man particularly that came out and the stadium went agog. He was governor for 8 years. He's not the only governor that came and left. Now, people did not shout because he was governor. No. They shouted because of his character when he was governor. One day, you'll stop being presenter in Equa Television. Maybe you'll be GM, maybe you'll be whatever it is, or maybe you'll be somewhere else, maybe CNN or somewhere else. When people see you, they will not miss you for the F9 you got, or for the P you got, or for the D or whatever alphabet we all got. Nobody. In fact, nobody introduces you in any occasion and they only say he bagged the PhD in this, he's a PhD holder, he's a degree holder, he's a this, but they don't explain, right? They don't explain what kind of result you came out with. Nobody has time for that. But you know, what they will say over that is, this man in 2014, he did this. In 2018, he did this. At one point, he was this. At this point, it was your character that gave you all these things, not your education. Not your education. Because if we are talking about education, are we the most educated that we are the ones working in Equa TV? We are not. We are not. We were both employed, those who had degree, masters, whatever it is that you, some of them left, some of them stayed. Largely, some left because of character issues. But their education remains. They are still entitled. They are still the owners of the certificates they got in school. But you see, there is a limit to where that certificate can. It can take you anywhere, but there is no guarantee that that certificate can keep you there. Look at the goodness of God. Look at the mercies of God. Look at the grace of God. And look at, most of all, the gifts of God. God brought you to Equa Television. God is not the one to keep you there. No matter how you praise your character. There are people who don't have other people's educational standards or qualifications, but they are more useful to us here than those who have the XYZs of education. It's character over everything. Education, remember, it is not for everybody. It's for you alone. You acquired it alone. You stayed in that classroom on that desk alone. Studied alone. You personalized everything. When you were writing exams, they didn't ask you to write as a group. They asked you to write as an individual. You finished writing. They passed you. They failed you. Now you came out to the real world. And in a world where we live today, where everybody is bombarded by countless competing messages, how can you stand without character? How can you stand without character? Look at that girl you were talking about. It has nothing to do with that she had a bad day. It has nothing to do with she was going through divorce. It has nothing. See, you have to cut what you're going through and what you are going to make life out of. Then you separate them. You keep it elsewhere, and this one you face it. Now, if people like Joyce don't patronize this lady, how much of her business will be recorded at the end of the month? How much? Nothing. If Joyce says this now, maybe let's imagine Joyce gave us her address and her shop. We wouldn't want to even trade upon that street completely.
Sure.
Who wants a terrible character on their faces now in this world that we live? Everybody's looking for a soothing relief from what they are going through. Now, there are people that say, I'm going to the GM's office. Oh, he's inside. Huh? Who is GM with? He's with Solo. When he's out, please call me. There are people, they say, he's with Hassan. Oh, wow. I even want to say hi to Hassan. They enter. Why? They would rather give up what they want to see the GM for. Why? Because Solo is with the GM and he has a terrible attitude. He has character issues. Can't you wait? It's not his office. Can't you wait outside? Didn't they tell you he was with someone? And that person in his mind, to his character, little character will show up. Are you the somebody? But they can't say it. You see? So if we are to reply everything based on what we hear, come on, man. Just imagine that people give you character, attitude, and you are supposed to respond. you respond to everything in your life. Now, these people that are in Keke, is it this change issue? People ask me, they say, sometimes I'm willing to leave change, but I want to see how you want to act. You'll be like, okay, sir, your change is 300. Let me look for it. I don't have it now. Can you give me 1 minute? Let me just quickly. I'll say, okay, go. When they start running, I say, come. It's not a big deal. Yesterday, my change was 300. I was willing to collect it from someone. So he said, sir, I don't have change. But sorry, let me not waste your time. Let me just run. I will be very fast. Please, sir. He started running. And I said, come. I said, where are you running to? He said, I want to check if I can get change for you from my neighbors. I won't waste time. He started running again. I left him to run. He went round. He didn't get change. So I added 1,000 to him. And I told him, I said, keep up what you are doing. He looked at me, he said, say, how did you even know I don't have transport fare to go back home? See, you just got yourself transport fare going back home without walking, just by character. Some people will look at you like this and hold the money. So I don't have change, oh. So what are we going? No, what are you going to do? No, don't ask me. What are you going to do? Go and
look for it.
I will tell them, go and look for it, sir. I will cancel anything I'm doing. I will wait in the car like this. I pray it's even raining. You go and find this thing and I'll start eating what I've bought. Because I did that to someone. Mostly ladies. And she said, I don't have change. What do you want me to do? Now you have started eating this thing. Blah, 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 blah. So I told her, I said, bring the money. Let me give you. When she brought it, I zoomed off with my car. So about 3-4 days later, I came back and I met an elderly woman in the store. And I asked her, where is the lady that was here? I say, that girl is not working here anymore. That she has messed. People have stopped coming to my shop. I say, do you know why I came back here? I didn't come to buy anything. This was what happened. And I came back to pay that money. That girl lied. That one man came. He took something she was saying, come and pay. He just ran away on a bike. Yes, sir. It's like 3 years ago. I think it was during COVID. See, she has lost her job. The woman, and I keep saying this to people. I think Solo hears me say that all the time. If you open a business and you cannot be there to monitor it yourself, you just empowered somebody. I keep saying that you just empowered somebody. That is why no matter what it takes upon you, if something is entrusted into your hands, monitor it by yourself.
Like you rightly said, character is everything. And you start building character before any other thing. And that is why when we are born, by the time you start crawling, your parent will keep guiding you. By the time you start talking, there are certain things that they will rebuke you from saying. There are certain ways they will tell you this is how to sit. There are certain ways. There are times they will tell you, no, this is how to say this. It's not good to say this to your elderly person. That is where you start building character. So character, it is very, very important. But people take it to be secondary, instead of primary. That is why you find out when some people are misbehaving out there, and then people are wondering, they will start asking. Didn't you hear people saying, "Kuma yaron pastor nifa, daughter elder nifa," like this is the son of is a pastor's child, and
that was his prudence.
Yeah. you see, because they believe character is first. So, and it is key for our parents to know that whatever, they give us, let's say 50%. They mold us 50% of what we should be, what we should look like when we get out there in the society, after leaving home for school or for work or anything. And that is why, people will be like, this person must have come from a well-trained background, because they will see that maybe if somebody is boasting with degree or a PhD or masters or whatever, result, and they'll be like, so this person is that educated, and see how the person is behaving. So you mean that person owned that car, owned that business, and look at how the person is behaving, the way he will listen to people, the way he will talk to people, as if he's nobody. Because people take somebody to be above character. Like, I am somebody. I earn this. This is my worth. This is my... So you can't look down on me because this is who I am. Forgetting the character. Because without character, I don't think anything meaningful will come out of your life. Because if you check people that don't have character, 1-2 conversation, you see people regretting. And like you rightly said, character is for people. And sometimes it baffles me when I hear people say, it's my life. If you like, go to hell.
This is how I am.
This is how I am. You can't change me. If you can't take me, just forget it.
By saying this is I am, you are saying by default I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
Then live in an island where no people.
No.
Just live
because,
there alone.
You see, they need people to patronize them. People like that need people to patronize them. You say when you say this is who I am, in other words, you're saying I am a bad person and I'm proud of it.
Wow.
Do you not know that when you were in school, there were people you were trying to help? They'll be like, no, leave me. I'll do it this way. Even at work, people are struggling with stuff, but they are looking at Martha will say, I learned this from her. Over people saying they prefer people to say, she just got to know about it. She's knowledgeable. But they don't want, but you went to school, somebody taught you. Do you understand? How come you were teachable then, now you are not? Where was the pride? I was also going to say, where was the pride when you were in school?
Or when you were applying for the job.
Do you understand? Because people learn every day. People learn every day till you leave this earth. You should be learning. See, if you have a wife, you must be learning every day, because women, they ask existential questions. Where have you been? Where do I normally go to between 9 and 5? And when you ask that, you answer that way, it's fight. Women ask existential questions, like questions they already know. Do you still love me? Why in the world are we still living together? You see, so your character will show up. People will always be who they are. You cannot stop learning. First 2, 3, 4 times, when you are asked that question, you'll be a bit mean. But when you have learned that it is their character and their nature, you know how to apply wisdom. So anybody who stops learning, they say the person starts dying. No, the person is dead. You don't start, you are dead. Because right now, the knowledge of yesterday is not functional today. That's the world we have found ourselves in. The knowledge of yesterday, the things that you learned yesterday, today they are hardly ever in practice.
It's true.
So what do you want to do? You learned sewing yesterday, and today the things that you learned about sewing, they are dead. The only thing useful is how to do the machines, how to operate them. But the styles of yesterday, they are not evoked today. And guess what? The same thread, the same needle, the same machine, the same material, but everything about it. So, excuse me, if you stop learning, you don't have anything to offer to the world. If I do not know this, why won't I say, Prudence, how did you get to make your hair like this? No, first you have to put it inside hot water. No, let me ask Joyce. Joyce is not the one wearing the style. She is. So what we want is let's show up with the knowledge. What we don't want is it was Martha that showed prudence that thing. We don't want that. Oh, it was Ruth that has been teaching you this timber. So now you are even better at dressing. No, we don't want that. Ruth, please, can you teach me this thing? But please don't tell anybody you are the one teaching me. The question is why? Another question, what will happen to you if they find out that it was Ruth that has been putting you through?
GP will drop.
But you see, honestly, when you say me, I cannot go and sell tomatoes as a graduate. The person that is not a graduate is making you hustle to come and buy from her. Foolish.
And you will never rise above.
You can
That's
never, Joyce.
your
You can
character.
never.
You will remain
As
there.
good as tomato is, you don't want to sell it. Okay, what do you want to sell? You rather sell your body. We know them. You rather sell your body or something that is not meant to be sold. I should have put it this way from beginning. You see, that's why yesterday at the stadium, I think it was a preacher that was saying he was coming out 2 a.m. He saw a very small girl in Rayfield. I didn't hear the parts of it, but I just know I lived in Rayfield before. And that was one of the reasons why I had to leave Rayfield. Because Rayfield is like, I don't know how to call that area now. If you drive on that street from 8, you see people selling things that are not for sale, ordinarily. So think about it. If a preacher saw it and brought it on the pulpit, it's a thing of concern. You would not, okay, let's even say you sold it once, 2, 3 times, and you made whatever amount. Why won't you look for another trade? And say, God, forgive me, I have sinned, let me just bless this my business. If that's possible, I don't know.
They already have.
Because if you have skills and courage without fear to stand in the night for a man you have no idea who he is to pick you, there's no business you cannot do in this world.
It's true.
But you say your character, or when you went to school, that's why parents should check on their children that are in higher institution. I was with a woman, she was leader of women fellowship somewhere, and she said her and her husband are planning to go and visit their daughter, and the daughter is not aware they are coming. I said, this is just the best thing, because they were not going with the intention to catch her. It was her birthday. And that girl will never wear trousers at home. She will not apply makeup. She will not do anything. She is that regular, beautiful, natural-looking Ekwa girl. Lo and behold, when the mother came back, she said she will resign from leadership in church. How can her daughter disgrace them like that? I said, what is it? My neighbor. And when she told me the state that she saw her daughter, she didn't come out of the car. It was the father that came out. So what do you say? A lady whose mother came to Jos from Abuja found 450 something thousand naira to come and give her daughter. Then somebody said nobody was asked to bring that kind of money in school. So when she came, she was looking for her daughter. They said, your daughter has not been in this school for 2 years. Yes, a school in Jos, a very popular school known for promiscuity in Jos. Okay, you just got it, right? Yes. So the girl collected that money from her mother from Abuja. So she opened a salon in Jos. She was running the salon. She was a big girl living large. She had problems in school. Almost 2 years, she had been dismissed from the school. And her mother is widowed. Her mother is a cleaner in federal government institution. So the mother collected money from their cooperative loan to give this girl, and the girl came to Jos and lived that kind of life. Character. When you have good character, you meet people that are without. You should run for the hills. Head to the border, like someone would say. You cannot stay and be friends with people who don't have godly character. Godly character does not mean you are a Christian or a Muslim. You must have character that is godly, regardless of being born again or not. There are people that are not born again. They don't go to church. They are even pagans, but their character. They tell you, no, this thing is wrong. They have conscience. It's wrong.
And talking about parents, sorry, Prudence. Talking about parents, yesterday I was together with one mama, and then she was narrating her story, talking about how young people behave nowadays. You know, she's widow. She have four children, male, and she was narrating, you know, her ordeals, you know, bringing out the best out of the children. And she said all that she has been doing, trying to see that these children are well behaved, seeing that whatever she has, you know, putting it together for them, you know, to get the best, what she think is the best. And she was narrating that she was lamenting that she didn't know Christ early, that she know Christ when she was in the university. She was lamenting, like she wish she knew Christ like in primary school or secondary school, like before getting to university. But she said that thing affected her, and then she vowed, she said her children will know Christ, you know, early. And that's what she tried her best to do. Then her child was about to write exam. He's in NDA now. NDA. She's a widow. She don't know anybody. She only know God that she serve. And she said she prayed. She tell God. She said, these children are well behaved because you allow me to know you and to train them. So this child is not going to beg for anybody for anything. And she prayed. She asked God. And this boy got that admission. She didn't know any general from anywhere. His name was shortlisted. She said when she went for his matric, she don't even have money to go and come back. She only had, that's 2 and 4. She only have the one that will just take her there. And she went to Kaduna. At the gate, she didn't even know where they are conducting. So she was just walking. She was trekking inside the school to find out where. And then somebody just stopped. And then he was like, Mama, where are you going? Are you going for the... She now said yes. Then he picked her. Then he was like, who are you going for? Then she mentioned the name. He said, wow, you are that boy's mother? She said, yes. He said, I'm his lecturer. That boy is well behaved. Madam, whoever you are, you try. Well done. God bless you. That he's his student. So I started imagining how many are they in class that lecturer would be picked. That means that boy is well groomed, character-wise. So it is very key. Our parents should know this. We have to teach our children, you know, to know God and to know that, you know, this education, like you said, is for you. Yes. And at the end of the day, that thing that you learn, like you are giving the graph for those economics, like you start explaining mathematics, x, y is equals to y. It doesn't. Is when you are in your field of service. That's when that thing matters. But in character, that means you will meet people in church, you will meet people in market, you will meet people everywhere. And that is where your character will show. That means character is for everybody. But education is for you. And that choosing profession, you know. But even in that choosing profession, you know, as a doctor, I've like me, I told myself, I said, there are certain people that if I'm sick and I go to see a doctor and they say they are the ones, I prefer to not to see the doctor, but to see any nurse that will attend to me. Because
herbalist.
See, when you talk
So
about
that's
character, really,
yeah.
like character is just about morals. And when you show me a child that went through school or somebody with certificates without morals, it's just a menace to the society. And we always talked about Christ-like attitude, because it's very easy when you are in Christ, like beyond the name, I'm a Christian, and you're having a very dirty character. Like when you are in Christ, it becomes easy for you that everywhere you go, people will know that, oh, this person stands out. Remember the story of Christians of old. Why were they called Christians? Because of the Christ-like attitude. Today, a lot of people say, I'm a Christian, but when they behave in certain way, you look at the person again and wonder, like, are you truly a Christian? Why do people ask such questions? Because of character. And you can never rise above the limitations of your character. Once there is deficiency in your character, honestly, you can't go further.
It's true.
So people must get to that point of questioning their character. We talked about pride earlier on, how that you don't even know something, but you cannot humble yourself to ask questions because you feel, how can I? It is character deficiency. Because if you are open, if you are of good moral behaviors, nobody will even doubt your actions. Anything you say can be trusted. The tag WWJD, what would Jesus do? If people imbibe that, I think then we would not be talking about bad character or good character, because everybody can be trusted. But today, for one reason or the other, people choose to be God over themselves. And that is why somebody will say, who is this person to talk to me? Who is that person to talk to me? There are people that when they say things, oh, good morning, someone will want to just check the time and see if it's really morning. Why? Because of character issue. So we must get to that point that if you profess you are a Christian, let it be seen in your attitude. When you say a thing, can people actually trust you? Can people hold you by that which you say? Oh, I'm a child of God. Can people see your behavior, your attitude, and say, truly this person is actually a Christian? Or will, because of you, somebody say, God forbid that I become a Christian? People boast and say, I'm schooled, you cannot talk to me like that, and all of that. True education is seen in your character. If you don't have good character, if your character does not speak well of you, then you are not educated. You are as well as an illiterate that have never gone to school. Because if you're truly educated, then it should be seen in your character. No wonder we see some people and say, do you mean this person has all this qualification? Do you mean that this person has all these riches or all this wealth, yet humble? Like, when I see people that are like, whatever you like, have all this certificate and yet see it as nothing because of their humility, I said, no wonder they say a tin that is filled makes no noise, but an empty one is the one that makes the noise. You can see how that somebody will go to a meeting and just be bragging, or you go to the village and be looking down on every other person. When people make points, you want to like bring them down because you feel you have attained that height. In today's world, it is about your character. Your success lies in your character.
Someone went to the village. Their fence, their mother's fence fell. So they called all of them. His older brother is a professor. So when they called them and they said the fence fell and people are laughing at them, their mother, everybody is passing, they're seeing their mother in the compound and all that. Igbo people. So the brother, who is young, is in Abuja doing spare parts business and he has money. So they called them, they all went to the village. So the professor said, at first, who are the people that built this fence? The foundation, number one, was not dug properly. And the amount of cement, let them tell us the quantity of cement. The younger brother said, uncle, brother, with due respect, this fence has fallen. It has fallen. Here is 10 million. Let's call people to build this fence. I'm going back to Abuja, my business. Professor, there was a doctor, this one did not go to school. but he learned trading. And his character spoke. He says, save everybody all this. Take 10 million. Do this fence. Let us all go back to our businesses. Everybody was quiet. Now, certificate was there. Certificate did not bring 10 million. Character. If this guy had bad character in his business, he wouldn't have raised that kind of money. Your point.
Okay.
And your closing point.
All right. Okay, so I just wanted to say this is a caution that we all need to take. Yes, we're talking about how character is important. I agree totally. Character is very important. In fact, character is one of the most important things that a person should have. However, I think we should also always remember this, especially for people for you who is at school, or for you who has a group of friends that you're trying to catch up with or meet up with. See, the Bible said, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good manners. So regardless how you have grown, how your character has been built so far, if you decide to mingle with the bad character, with the bad company, you're going to have a tumble. You're going to fall. There are a lot of times that he said, be careful about how you're guarding yourself so that even your character will not be infected. If you're in a working environment and you find that the people around you don't have the right character, be conscious and be cautious about that as you're treading that path, so that those characters you will not find yourself getting them. Because the moment you get them, you're I want to use a word that I don't think is really a word. You're de-educating yourself. It's like you're making yourself illiterate when you adopt those characters. So it is important that you guard your character. If you are already having a good character, please guard your character.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. You know, that is why people around you are important, you know, because that is why God created us as human, you know, to relate. But in relating, you have to be careful with the people you relate with and the people you keep as company, because sooner or later they can influence you. And that's why earlier we started with the foundation that this is how parent and society influence, you know, their children, you know, by the way of molding them when they are growing up. So it is very, very important to know the kind of people that we mingle with, so that they will not affect the good character and the morals that we have. And character is everything.
As important as certificate is when it comes to giving you access, it is only character that will keep you there and guarantee your success. So ensure that you put on the full armor of God. Guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. Keep a healthy attitude and a good character. On this note, we'll be saying bye for now until we come your way tomorrow, same time. We'll leave you with thoughts of the week. Bye.
Learning is not all about the four walls of a classroom. Rather, it is a lifetime investment to growth.
We all make mistakes, but social media frame those mistakes and display them infinitely.
Relationships should draw you closer to God and not closer to sin. Remember that God is more important, so don't compromise to keep anyone.